Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Playing with House Money. I am Iceman, aka at Iceman_1013 on Twitter, and this is my co-host DJ Pru at PruBaby10, the self-proclaimed live bet king. How are we today, my man?
I'm doing great. That last line in there just was justified incredibly this week, huh? I
Yes,
love
it did.
live betting, man. I love live betting. It's makes me feel alive and dead sometimes. But
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. I definitely feel like you go through streaks, right? You get hot and cold, like, and you
yeah,
have to know like when it's like I tried it the other
you
day
got
and
to
I was
pick your
like,
spots.
one day I was doing really well, and then the next day was like 2 or 3 in a row, and I was like, yeah, I just need to cut this off because
Right.
like otherwise you can very quickly spiral and go through your bankroll. So it's important to know the signs as well. But when
Yeah.
it's going well and you're picking things like you've had a couple of those days, it can be a real quick moneymaker.
Oh yeah. The thing is like we'll get into that. We'll jump into one of those eventually. Probably, maybe sooner than later. But it's it's bad if you can't control yourself to just pick very, very specific guys and like wait the entire time until he goes up. But yeah, man, this live betting this weekend was insane. I had five in a row at one point, and then I was only losing like one in between them. I had 18 live bets last Saturday that green. Obviously, not all of them, for huge profits, anything like that. Some of them were only, 5, 10, $20, but some of them were 25 for 169 and stuff like that. So Saturday was crazy, but yeah, it was a good week. We had a really good weekend last week. A very crucial bounce back. Um, for actually, I mean, it felt like all of us. Um,
It
for what?
definitely did.
Yeah, that was Saturday was crazy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday of last week was crazy. We had the 1703 hit 5 legs. Jeez, it's raining bad out here. Um, and then another 735 that at one point on Saturday morning I forgot I made that bet, and thank the Lord it came through. I mean, it was a nail biter, if anything. Kerry Otani, shout out to him,
Yep.
bottom of the 9. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was a really good week. We were the week prior was, I mean, brutal. It was straight up battle. I mean, probably a little bit over a week. So it was really good to see a group of us really hit one, and everything was posted and whatnot. So it was nice. I wish I would have gotten more of the live bets, in, but obviously with those, it's all time crucial and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was nice, man. And then you actually helped make it an even better one.
What we try and do, yeah. I mean, Saturday for us on the soccer side, we swept MLS, which is always nice. Again, incredible bounce back week from the week before when I said on the last week's show that it was one of the worst bets that I've ever placed. It just one of those was just not anywhere even near like this week when everything goes right. Like I hit, we hit the best bet of the day on Saturday. Columbus Crew over 1.5. We posted a short St. Louis City over 1.5 that hit. Um, and then there was just different combinations of the 5 bets. There was the 3 home teams. Aside from St. Louis, there was the 3 early games, and then there was all 5 of them together, and all 5 together at plus 1862. When they all hit, and you're cashing 6 bets in total,
Mm-hmm.
all at varying levels from minus 125 through to that plus 1862. It just, yeah, Saturday, I was actually on Saturday at a block party where, like, on my phone, like
Me
every
too.
so often, trying to like keep up with it and just trying to like, part of me going, yeah, I don't want to look because FC Dallas made us sweat for that 5th leg.
Oh
We
yeah.
you know we'd cashed pretty nicely the 503 and the 789 plus 789 cashed relatively sweat free.
Fast.
So we were already up. It was just that last Dallas leg. They were 0-0 at half time, and then they scored early, and they fortunately scored their second in I think the 89th minute. So yeah, like similar to what you said with Ohtani coming through in the 9th innings, those 90th minute or injury time goals that cash bets for us are something else. And then, on top of that, on Sunday, yeah, we pulled out, posted a few live bets on Sunday in the Norwegian League, the Bodo Glimt game.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, the possibilities of what I actually posted was plus 200 and plus 260 winners. You jumped on the plus 260 and took the guy instead of any time, which is what I posted. You've been with me a long time, and anyone that's followed me for a long time knows that when I post any time goal scorers, you should probably take them first. And that's exactly what you did, plus 800, boom. Yes, and take them for 2 goals as well. And that's, that was the plus 2,000.
And the beauty of that 800 is I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet. I was literally laying in my bed. I waited 14 minutes after you told me to bet that plus 240 or whatever it was. And I'm like, this is going to be a good day or it's going to be a bad day. So before I roll out of bed, we're going to find out. And boom, not even 15 minutes. And then on top of that, if anybody would have watched last episode and just bet every soccer leg you mentioned, they would have cashed each individually and all together. So ever so modest, but that sweep was man, Jordan-esque.
The Mike Jordan of recording. Sports gambling podcasts.
Ice cold, baby, ice cold.
That's what we do, man. But I think it was just nice. I think the combined weekend, like you said, on both sides of it, like if people had been, if you listen to the show, if you follow us on Twitter, if you're in the Discord and you were betting everything we did to even money stakes, 1 unit here, half a unit there, quarter unit, dependent on the value of the bet, then you would have had a plus 60, possibly plus 50 unit, definitely.
Yeah,
and even
right. Depending on how heavy they went on some of them, you could have been well over 60, to be honest with you.
And you could, and again, given the day we had Saturday and Friday night, the Friday night bet hitting at plus 1,700, that was the Friday night one, right?
Yeah.
You're hitting a plus 1,700 to kick off the weekend. You're probably then betting a little bit more on the Saturday slate. Yeah, like you're probably betting a little bit more then on the Saturday slate. And if you then back the MLS and you put you put more than it, you put a unit on plus 1862 or a unit and a half, because you're now, guess what? You're playing with house money at that point. Playing with house money. See what I did there?
And you're at 2,500 bucks. No, 2,700 bucks on a unit and a half on that 18. So it could have been. You could have even did how we tell people, wager wisely, whatnot. You don't have to go in here with $100 units with us either. You could have came in here, threw $10 on everything. Even your Saturday, those 5 or 6 bets it was. I went through it. $10 on every bet would end up over 30 units. They would have had, over 3 units in that money scale. Over 3 units, you got $300 off of $60.
Yeah.
Plus all your wagers back. It was. We just need you to get to where you need to be, and that's following these names, playing with house money, PW_ at house money or at house money on Twitter. And then once you contact us there, we'll get you exactly where you need to be with us. And you can go ahead and see exactly what we mean.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good weekend, bro. And that's, hopefully put us right back on track, right? With, like you say, after the weekend before and looking forward to this weekend now even more. Like I think we found our groove. We're back there. We know what we're doing, and everything's just kind of fallen into place. But like Pru says, like if you're following us both on Twitter, then that's a great place to start. You're watching or listening to the show. That's great. You can jump in the Discord, hit either one of us up, let us know. We'll put you in the Discord. It's $10 a month. And again, if you'd have paid that, if you'd have seen what we posted Saturday morning to say, hey, these guys, just hit us plus 1,700 winner, and then you're in Saturday afternoon. Like again, you're hitting plus 1,800s, plus 700s.
You're leaving Saturday. You're leaving Saturday with 30 months worth. You're leaving Saturday with 30 months worth of Discord bets.
Yeah, you just come to me and go, hey, I want to pay the year up front. The year's $100. You've paid that already, and now you get everything for the rest of the year.
We spent that on liquor this weekend or last weekend for 4th of July. Mm-hmm. Come on, it's paying for itself. The soccer goat is back in his groove. I've said it for well over the length of this show. It's been months. We're probably close to a year. Soccer goat. I'm stamping it. It's cemented. The man is back. It's over with for everybody. They better watch out. And we got some premier MLB matchups starting tonight.
Yes, we have. And go for it. What have we got?
Right out of the gate, my eyes got big for this one as soon as I saw it on the calendar. 6:05 Central Time. The Texas Rangers against the Washington Nationals. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. These games this weekend are going to be filled with hits. And who have we been on just endlessly lately? Ezekiel Duran, Lane Thomas, Jameer Candelario. We've picked our spots. He had a home run for us a few days ago. Almost everybody on the Rangers when you really want to say it. Nathaniel Lowe, Leody Taveras, we like to catch, on his days. You get really good odds for him. I am so excited for that series. And honestly, there's not really a pitcher on either of these teams that I'm just like fully avoiding. I'm sure you'll have one of them. Each team has a pitcher play well, but dude, this series is going to be. Oh man, I might have SGPs on this game itself. I might have same game parlays on this team probably every day. We got another premier matchup, at least it should be, depending on which Tampa Bay the Atlanta Braves against Tampa Bay. Should be two contenders. Tampa Bay's bats have been a little and Atlanta's have not. I mean, we've seen so many 4, 5 runs with it. And it's just it's such a good gambling team. I think if the Tampa Bay Rays show up, that's another one that's going to be filled with good bets and good value. And then another, probably not so much near as like contenders, but fun betting teams. We got Giants against Colorado Rockies. That's the last game. 9:15 Central Time. I love the Giants. I think the Giants have 4, 5, 6 guys and really any game is who has a hit the day before, the last 4 days, the last 7 days, and kind of what I gauge. But they're filled with hitters and they're filled with guys that drive runs and steal bases. So they're a really deep team with value. And the Colorado Rockies are very hitter. You pick your spots. They do have a few guys on their roster. The only few that I really kind of pay attention to. But you got Tavar, you get sometimes Ryan McMahon. it's hard to gauge when they're gonna just have a really good game. But you got Randall Grichuk. There's a few. Just pick your spots, and I think that's depending on what pitchers we see, and like San Fran bats well against lefties. It is just a lot to pay attention to, but that's definitely the main three that my eyes are wide for. And then I might be a little biased, but the Chicago White Sox play St. Louis Cardinals this week. So can't be denied the Sox are definitely bad. We got Luis playing out of his mind. I cannot believe he's not starter. He got robbed. And then Eloy seems to have his power back. I'm checking too. It's even better. Andrew Benintendi is always. And then you got Buds on the other end, Arnaldo, Goldie. And then I really like that. And Donovan. Very solid. Maybe Edmund every once in a while. And like Paul Pajong. Yeah, I'll probably avoid the Cardinals on Dylan Cease, except for Renato for 4 bases and something Goldie too. But Goldie's been pretty hot and cold lately. It's not rookie season, but he's still a premier hitter. So I really like those are my main 4 for sure.
Yeah, the Cardinals. I know we speak about it. We speak about them often, or at least we chat about them often. We rarely kind of go in on them. But I know Nate at Toilets to Titles is a Cardinals fan, and
he tries. He's trying to be.
It's just trying to be, but yeah, I mean, those first 2 matchups that you mentioned, I think they, like just the potential to be huge, right? Like there's very like what I might do with those 2 games. I know you said you're going to run probably some same game parlays, certainly in that in the Nationals game, because you just love betting on the Nationals anyway. But might take both of those 2 games, not just over the run line, because I'm assuming that the run lines are going to be around 9 or 10 anyway. But just take some extensions to the run line. Take them at 12.5, 13.5. And one of the fun one that I found this week with a couple of them is like the race 2, like the race to 7 runs. Certainly with the Braves have scored like averaging like 7 runs per game or over 7 runs per game, and like the race to 7 runs is plus 230, plus 240. That's just for the Braves, So match that with some of the other teams. If there's anyone,
hard, you never know, man. It's hard this year.
No, for sure. It's not by any means a straightforward bet, and it's certainly obviously not as straightforward as just taking the team totals. But
yeah, I was gonna say that's a good round robin. You could build a good round robin with 260, 230, stuff like that.
But yeah, so I like that.
How long did you sit on that idea?
I literally found it this week.
Oh, okay. I'm like, man, what the hell?
I found it on Wednesday, and you know what? Like, I tried it out. Didn't go too well because who would have thought the Oakland A's would score 3 runs in the first innings?
That's what I'm saying. It's like this year is hard. I feel like that might be a prop. You can get some really good ones when you take the under.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And again, that's something that you could because you can do a race to 3, 5, or 7,
exactly,
right? And obviously at varying different price points, but taking the underdog in a race to 3, or especially if the underdog is the away team, right? And because if you'd have taken Oakland on Wednesday, they're 3-0 up at the middle of the first, so that's game over. Like,
exactly. Didn't even have a shot.
The other team haven't even hadn't at bat yet, and they're 3-0 down, your bet's cashed, and that's a huge underdog.
And DraftKings has it one through 10 or something like that. You can do race.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've had like times where I'll bet like race to one team, and then I'll go to race 5. I'll do the opposite team, and they'll give you the multiplication for it. And the odds is so much better. I tried to finesse it a little bit. I've also gotten screwed trying to be able to see that. Yeah, you're definitely onto something with that.
Yeah.
I'd be quick to take the Nationals 5 on the Texas Rangers or something. They're probably getting plus 500 or something.
Definitely a thing to look at, right? And see, like you say, if we can finesse it to a point where we.
Yeah.
Because again, with the odds that you're going to get on that, or you can try it on 3 or 4 games, and you've only got to hit one, and you're well up for the week.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like we said, if you want to find any of this out, follow us on the Twitter. If you want to support the extended Toilets to Titles team, join the Patreon. Join, become part of the Title Tribe. It's $1.50 per month for the base level. Absolutely nothing. You get guaranteed entry into Frankenstank, which is actually closing next week. There's only less than a dozen spaces left. So if you want to join that league, then absolutely do so. It's the most fun you'll have in fantasy football. The league is crazy. But also, you get access to us in the Gilded chat. You get access to a bunch of mock drafts, not just for Frankenstank, but if you're doing any other fantasy football, if you're in Dynasty Superflex leagues, if you're doing startups or just your redraft 1 quarterback leagues, there'll be mock drafts all over the place for that. So yeah, join, let us know, hit either of us up or any of the Toilets to Titles team, and jump in, like, subscribe, follow the rest of the team. And as we get into football season, then, that's when, things are really going to kick into higher gear. But, as we talk about one football season, I'm going to switch over and talk about my football. Yeah, like we said, we had a fantastic weekend last weekend. So you're going to hear a couple of the same names. I'm not.
Yeah.
Last weekend I went big on the home teams, right? I found what I think is the right path to go down with the home teams that I really like to win. And this week we have Columbus Crew at home to New York City FC.
Your favorite team.
We know how I feel about the New York-based soccer teams. Columbus Crew 5 in a row at home, 5 wins on the bounce. They've scored 2 in all 5 of those games. New York City have won 1 away game all season in 12 that they've played. They've drawn 6, lost 5. The game was 1-1. They played 3 weeks ago in New York, and it was 1-1. So Columbus scored 1 goal away from home, back in Ohio. Columbus to score 2+ at -125. It's kind of cemented in as my best bet of the week. Doubling that up with DC United. So DC United are at home this weekend. They've scored in their last 5 home games. They've scored 10 in those 5 games. They haven't scored 2 in each. They've had a couple of 3s at home and a couple of 1s, but they've scored in all 5. They've won 2, drawn 2, lost 1. But they are playing at home to Inter Miami, my current favorite fade team. Miami have lost 4 on the bounce away from home. They've just recently lost in Philadelphia. They conceded 4 goals. They conceded 3 in New England. They even lost away to Montreal, who have one of the worst offenses in the entire MLS. So, I feel like DC United again to score 2+ goals at home against this Miami defense. Minus 174. I'm not massively keen on those odds. It's a little bit lower than I'd normally like to go, but doubling it up with Columbus gives you a plus 183 double. Both 7:30 Eastern time kickoffs.
Yeah.
So they're on the early slate, which I prefer.
Miami's just like on their deathbed, waiting for these signings to be home.
Yeah, they're just waiting. Like they fit again. Like the longer they continue to just get battered week in, week out, just waiting for the Messiah to arrive. It's just like they're not going to make the playoffs this year because they're going to be so far out of contention that it's not even a choice. Like next year will be a completely different story. But this season, until he joins, and to be honest, I'm hoping that the books. I'm hoping that he actually starts playing at the end of. Like I said, I think his first game's going to, at best, be the end of July, if not the middle of August, after the break. So it could well be the end of August. But I'm hoping that the books all of a sudden know that Messi starts and they make their money line. They make them the favourites.
Oh man!
And then we'll be taking the opposition teams to score 2 goals because, like I've said multiple times, Messi playing does not impact the defense. Exactly. And even getting Sergio Busquets, the man's 35 years old. He's not going to make any difference. Like these young kids for some of these teams, 24, 25-year-olds are just going to run him ragged. Like I know he's got it up here, but again, like 2 players don't make a team, and the one player, central, CDM is the position, central defensive midfield, doesn't really make up for the fact that your back 4, your defensive line, and your goalkeeper are just terrible.
Right.
So we're fading them. The next one is we add to that a team that I sneakily like betting on, Charlotte FC. They're a relatively new team. They were expansion team a couple of years ago. They were terrible at the beginning of the season, but they've really kind of picked it up. And at home, their home record, again, they're at home this weekend. They've won 2, drawn 2, lost 1 of their last 5. They've scored in 4 out of those 5, and both teams to score has hit in 4 of those 5 as well. They're at home to, yes, you guessed it, FC Cincinnati. But I'm not falling for the trap. I'm not falling into the trap of betting on Cincinnati away from home team goals. I'm going, away from home, 1, 2, last 5. They've scored in 4 of their last 5. Both teams to score has hit in 3 of those. Both teams to score in this game, minus 150. Add that to the first 2, gives you a plus 370 treble. And then the last one for the week is another one, and it's very similar to the Inter Miami stuff. It's Toronto FC. Toronto are probably the worst form team. Them against I can't wait for them to play Inter Miami in a few weeks because that game will just be horrible. It'll either be 0-0, the most boring game to watch, or it'll be 7-4.
I was going to say I'm going under 0.5.
Yeah.
No in between.
I don't think there will be. They've scored 2 goals in their last 5 games. Toronto have literally the second worst offense in the entire MLS season wide, behind only the Colorado Rapids. But on form, last 5 games, like I say, they've scored 2 in those last 5 games. They've only won 3 games from their 22 this season. They've drawn a fair few. So this one is a little bit, it's kind of a cautionary bet, this one. Because as bad as Toronto are, they have kind of been defensively okay. It's their offense that lacks completely. They've conceded 11 in their last 5, so they are conceding goals. But at home, they tend to be slightly stronger. but they are playing St. Louis FC, who are top of the West. They've scored 39 goals this season. So they have the best offense in the league. They just, again, conversely, they struggle away from home offensively. So it is a cautionary one. I looked at the match goals, but my thought process here is that match goals, over 2.5 match goals is minus 134. Toronto are not scoring more than one, in my opinion, in this game. So in order for the over 2.5 and that minus 134 to hit, I need St. Louis to score twice.
Right.
St. Louis to score twice is plus 128.
What?
So I am taking the plus 128, assuming that, again, like Toronto, they've scored 2 in their last 5. I don't see them scoring now 2 all of a sudden against a decent St. Louis side. As much as they struggle away from home, I don't see Toronto scoring 2 in my opinion. So the value on the St. Louis team total in comparison to the match goals is pretty huge. And if you add the St. Louis team total to the other 3 bets, the fourfold comes out at just under plus 1,000, plus 980 for 8 goals, which I think is huge. So yeah, I'll be playing the double, the treble, and the 4. And then we have a couple of, just going to wrap it up real quick. We've got Norway, obviously. There's another lucky 13 in there, which again happened to come out at plus 1,000, just over plus 1,000 for 13 goals. Bodo Glimt game, they're away from home, over 2.5. Normally I push them to over 3.5. They won us a lot of money last weekend, but they've not been their normal selves. So just taking the game over 2.5 goals there. Sandefjord against Stabæk. Strømsgodset against Sarpsborg is the one that I am pushing to over 3.5. Sarpsborg have been in incredible form recently. And the history of that fixture over the last 3 or 4 seasons has had bagfuls of goals. So to get plus 120 in that game for 4 goals, I love. And then Tromsø against Vålerenga. Again, all 4 of those games over 2.5 match goals. Push the Sarpsborg game to 4, and it gives you the over plus 1,000 for 13 goals. I'll post the bet slip on the Twitter for everyone on Saturday night, Sunday morning anyway. And the other one that we currently have at the moment that's going on is the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So it's just basically a North American international tournament. I told you it was quite good to me over the holiday weekend with some goals. I just kind of randomly, I was asked a question on Facebook about the Gold Cup and just threw out a bet on there for plus, I think it was plus 2,300 that hit
2,800.
2,800 plus 2,800 that hit on Tuesday. So I've just put quickly one together here. We've got 4 games. 2 are on Saturday afternoon and evening, and 2 on Sunday. So this bet spans both days. Panama versus Qatar. We get some great odds here for both teams to score. It's plus money for just both sides to score. You could really run both teams to score all over 2.5 goals through all 4 of these games and be fairly confident. I would like either of those. But just at plus 110 for both teams to score, you get plus money on the over as well. Mexico against Costa Rica is the late game on Saturday. Over 2.5, minus 142. Mexico would be the one team I would leave out. They absolutely killed me the other day. They had like 45 shots on Monday night in the game against Qatar. Qatar were 1-0 up. Mexico should have scored about 7 or 8 goals, and they didn't score 1. So I think Mexico are due to bounce back, and Mexico could quite easily score those 3 goals themselves. to prove a point. And then on Sunday, we have Guatemala against Jamaica. I love the value in this. I think Jamaica are the dark horses to win this entire tournament.
Okay.
They've got some really good young players, and they've scored a decent amount of goals in the tournament so far. So the over 2.5 on this one is plus 116. I'm half tempted to run the over in just Panama and the Guatemala Jamaica game because they're just huge. I just think the value on them is great. And then the final one to wrap it off on Sunday night is USA against Canada, which is always a tight affair, always a good game. In a knockout competition, though, there's even more spice to it. And USA team total is basically evens for them to score 2 goals. So yeah, those 10 goals altogether at plus 14, over plus 1400. Again, I think we get some great value on that Gold Cup, and it's knockout. So at this stage, so yeah, I think that's just some real good value to go across the whole weekend.
And they'll play hard.
Yeah. So that's it. There will be, as always, in plays on the Twitter, in the Discord. There will be goal scorer bets posted half hour, 45 minutes before kickoff once teams are announced. For the most part, probably for the teams that I've said I like to score the 2 goals. That's where we go with the goal scorer bets. But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to add for us this week?
No, there's a lot of soccer. Looking forward to that. Especially that. No, I mean, hey, we're available to hit us up on the social medias. And only thing left to do is make some money.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep. And again, if you wanna ask us about bets that you want into place, there's any players, any teams in baseball or in soccer that you're liking the look of, you see some value somewhere, you want to ask us how we feel about it, absolutely hit us up. So like I say, you've got Pru's at is right there. Mine is underneath me. They're right down here. At PW_house money. You'll find us both on Twitter. That's the joint one. Shoot us a message. Let us know what you're tailing, what you're fading. And like I say, any other questions. And thank you for watching and listening to episode 5. Best of luck with the weekend. We'll be back next Friday playing with more house money.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody.